Hey everyone, Final Cut Pro Radio TV Live. I'll be with you in a moment, but today we are going to be doing some interesting things. We're going to talk about Final Cut Pro, any Final Cut Pro news. We're going to talk a little bit about IBC, a couple things coming out of there, and some of the other normal things that we do when we go live. Let me see if this is up yet. Let's see here. It should be up. Let me just try this real quick. So we'll be talking about, there's a couple of things out of IBC I want to talk about. There we are. Let me share this. So in case everybody is interested, I don't know if anybody's from over there at IBC, but if you are, you can give me a call on Skype and we'll bring you on live. Let me just make sure I got everything here. I think I got most everything. So, if you are over there at IBC and you want to call in on Skype, get on your Skype contact, and you'll be able to call in there. I think we're all ready to go. I know there's been a new Sony camera announced, but I'm waiting for the good old GH5. So, my name is Richard Taylor from Final Cut Pro Radio. So, one of the things that I am doing today is I am testing. I was having a problem with my interconnectivity. Sometimes it would cut out. I think a couple weeks ago I was doing a Final Cut Pros Saturday meetup, and it cut out, and we had to do what we could to regain the stream, which somehow we were able to. I'm not sure why exactly, but now I upgraded to the fastest non-business internet I can get. And I'm also connected via Ethernet today, so it should not conk out. It should be crystal clear. I got like 3 times the upload speed, and I'm up to 1 gigabyte download. I think with this system, it's mainly the upload speed that counts, so it should be crystal clear. The audio should be clear. Everything should be going well. So I'm going to, if you want to call in, let me see how that works. Call me on Skype, FCPRadio. Call me on Skype, FCPRadio. If you can't find FCPRadio, I was kind of searching and it was kind of a little strange. I couldn't find it, but I'm not sure if because I'm logged in that. Just look for Richard Taylor and then look for the FCPRadio logo on Skype if you want to come on live. And I can take one call at a time. One call at a time. I'm especially interested if you guys from IBC are here. You want to come on. My name is Richard Taylor, and we're going to start talking about some Final Cut Pro related news items. So first off, IBC. Yep, IBC. IBC is like a version of the NAB that we have in Las Vegas in the spring, typically. So one of the biggest things was free BRAW plugin for Premiere and Avid. That was announced by Blackmagic this morning. People have been saying, where's the BRAW plugin? Where's the BRAW plugin? Well, Blackmagic announced that they have one for Premiere and Avid. They announced it this morning. and it's free. And Blackmagic made the plugin, just like Red makes plugins for Final Cut Pro. So I guess the question everybody is asking is, where's the Final Cut Pro version? Apple, where's the Final Cut Pro version? Everybody points a finger to Apple, but I think it's probably a combination of Apple and probably more so Blackmagic. They have to make the plugin for Final Cut Pro, and they have to abide by all the rules that plugin makers have to abide by for Final Cut Pro plugins. So I think, Apple's announced that there's a new version of Final Cut Pro coming. Whether that's 10.4.7 or 10.5, we'll see. It's supposed to be out in the fall. And perhaps we'll have the BRAW plugin around the same time. That would make sense. Very likely around the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit time, November the 7th through the 9th, in Cupertino. They have to have an announcement for that. They have to. If I come all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast and there's no announcement, that's going to be aggravating. We need an announcement, Apple. We got to have a Final Cut Pro announcement. So anybody at IBC, I got a question for you. Have you seen the Mac Pro in the wild yet? Is it available to be seen over there at IBC? Anywhere, maybe at a secret Apple event? I don't know. I'd like to get my hands on one. Hopefully I will be able to at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit coming up November the 7th through the 9th. Last year's Final Cut Pro Summit was the best so far. I've been to 3 of them. This will be my 4th one. I get sponsored to go to those, and I go to them from the East Coast to the West Coast. It's a long trip. It's a 5 or 6 hour trip on the plane, plus parking, plus going to the airport, all that stuff. So while you're at IBC, don't forget to visit our friends over there in the Hedge booth. Paul from Hedge and Jasper, who's developed Post Lab. Or Post, what is it? Is that what it is? Post Lab. Some kind of collaboration for Final Cut Pro on servers and stuff. I don't quite understand all that. Someday I'll get a tutorial and see it. So what did you all think about the iPhone announcement? This is interesting that these 3 lenses came out at the same time that Johnny Ives left. I think if I get one, I would get the space gray. That's typically what I get. So it says a transformative triple camera system that had tons of capability without complexity, unprecedented leap in battery life. That is a big deal. They're saying 3 to 4 extra hours per day. So we'll see what happens there. Don't know if that's going to be the case, but that's what they're saying. So they have, for the first time, the iPhone 11 Pro and the Pro Max or something, and the bigger screen. I don't know if I need the bigger screen, but I certainly would get the Pro if I do get one. I'm weighing my options. I don't need one right now. And I really do wish, from a video person's perspective, I wish that they came out with a 4 times telephoto lens rather than the ultra-wide lens. I don't use the ultra-wide lens. I don't even use the lens that is on it now. It's too wide on my iPhone. I always have to, zoom in on the photo or video, or I have to move forward, one or the other. Fred Rhodes says, I can definitely use 5 hours more of battery life. Is that what they said, Fred, or did they say 3 to 4? 5 hours would be phenomenal. That would be great. 5 hours more battery life. I don't know how did they do that? I guess they made it bigger. Now that they have protruding lenses, I guess they don't care about being razor thin all the time. And actually, I like function over form when it comes to pro video things. So let me know what you think about the iPhone in the comments, or if you want to come on live. We're going to take live calls today. Call me on Skype, FCPRadio. If you can't find that, look for Richard Taylor, FCPRadio, or something along those lines. I can take one call at a time. If you want to come on live, I'll take a call. So people are excited about the iPhone 11 Pro. The Pro version was what I would get. So it has the ability to record through all three cameras at the same time. I guess it's got three cameras at the same time. So you can have one camera facing you, one camera shooting out, and have both of those being recorded simultaneously. I think in 4K, both of them at the same time. I don't know. I don't know for a fact, but I said they're showing pictures. They showed in the video in the keynote with our friends from Filmic Pro utilizing some kind of magic. So what do you guys think? Who's coming to the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit this year? There's going to be a lot of cool stuff. Let me pull this up real quick. So I'm in the process of redesigning my website, FCPRadio.com, where I host all my podcasts and things. So I have this one new video up there, Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. It's just a promo video. If you've never been there before, it's a little promo to show you what you actually get to see at the summit. Some behind the scenes kind of things. There's the Juniper Hotel, of course. I'm not going to play the whole video. I'm just going to play a little bit of it. This is the Juniper Lounge area. Let's see what else we have. So there's Ben from FMC. There's iJustine. This is at the actual Apple campus. There's Chris Fenwick, Steve and Mark, of course. All kinds of neat stuff. On YouTube. So you can go to FCPRadio.com, the main page there, and it's right there, FCPX Creative Summit 2019. I have all the podcasts listed, the last 20 or so on my page, and then you can go to the rest of the podcast on iTunes. There we have the podcast. So I've been doing Final Cut Pro Radio for entering my 5th year. I've been doing this. It's going to be my 5th year in January. And no breaks, just straight through, no breaks, no vacations. I've put up a podcast every month. And one of the good things about doing it consistently like that we're approaching 1.1 million podcast downloads. I have 2 podcasts. Final Cut Pro Radio is one, and that's the main one that I do nowadays. I have another one that I've been doing started 15 years ago called Roots Rock Radio, which is a roots rock podcast with original bands. But between the 2 podcasts, I'm approaching 1.1 million podcast downloads. Now, that's nothing to some people that have millions of views on YouTube and stuff, but I'm proud of that. 1.1 million podcast downloads. Absolutely. So what else is going on? So who's going to the summit? Anybody going to the Creative Summit besides me? I don't know. I presume. I presume somebody is, right? let me see something here. This should be, yeah, it should be going on. Let me just modify that. That's not the right one. Let me see if that's what's going on. I'm just changing one link. Here, real quick. Copy, paste. There we go. There we go. Live now. There we go. So yeah, so I don't have a whole lot of news about the IBC. Nobody's really, I don't see many posts. A couple on Twitter. They have the new cameras. Patrick Southern, our friend, mentioned that. He says, Chris Fenwick and Jeff Greenberg were talking about if Apple could get the iPhone Pro to shoot 10-bit 422. Locally, that would change things. Well, it would change things, I guess. But I've actually stopped shooting 10-bit because it doesn't play natively in Mac OS. So I just started shooting 8-bit, 4K 8-bit. So we'll see. I can play those files natively, and everything that I shot in 10-bit, I'm really not going back and color grading it or anything. It's just the way I started shooting that way, but I stopped because the files are bigger, but I'm not going back and reusing something. If I am going to go back and reuse the files at some point in the future, I will shoot it specifically in 10-bit, but right now I've gone back to shooting 8-bit. And the sensor on the iPhone, no matter what they do with the lenses and stuff, is very, very small. It's nothing, it's not comparable to a DSLR or stuff. I mean, the pictures are absolutely gorgeous. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. They are gorgeous. 9/20 available. I guess that's next Friday. Yeah. I didn't order one yet. I'm not in any hurry. My trusty old iPhone 6S Plus is going to be fine for the time being. That will be fine. But at some point I might get one. I am going to get a Mac Pro. I am planning on getting a Mac Pro, depending. I have that Mac Pro is funded. I've got the money for it, so I don't want to raid my Mac Pro fund to buy an iPhone. I really don't. I don't care too much about what's going on. Obviously it's a better iPhone than it was in the past. That is fine. Let's see if there's anything going on let's see if there's anything going on Twitter. Well, of course, FCP Works just retweeted this. I have waiting on Final Cut Pro 10, 10.5, the fall of 2019. I really think changes in the air this time around. So in the past 3 years, Apple has released or previewed a new major feature update to Final Cut Pro around the Creative Summit. Well, the Creative Summit, of course, is coming up. In 2016, it was 10.3. In 2017, a public preview of 10.4. Okay? They previewed 10.4. But they didn't release it at the summit. They gave us a preview, and it was a public preview. We were able to share what we saw on social media. It was released in December. And in 2018, they released 10.4 with extensions, comparison viewer, a bunch of things that were, I think, some new captioning things. So we're not sure. We know there's an update coming. We're not sure if it's going to be 10.4.7 or it's going to be 10.5. If they don't release 10.5 leading up to the Creative Summit, it's going to be 2 years at the Creative Summit between major full number updates, between 10.4 and 10.5. In the recent past, the last 10.3 to 10.2 to 10.3, 10.3 to 10.4, it's been 14 to 18 months between those full number updates. So if they go to 2 years at the summit, right now it's 22 months. It's already longer. If they go to 2 years, what's that mean? Are they rewriting sections of it again? Could be. That could be the collaboration that we're talking about. So once again, you can go to FCPX.tv, waiting on Final Cut Pro 10, 10.5, the fall of 2019, if you want to see that. Let's see what else is going on Twitter, perhaps. So what else do we have? I think I pulled up a Twitter feed with IBC on it. There was a Patrick Southern, like I said, he did have a video up this morning talking about that new Sony camera. So Avid says that's it from IBC 2019 Day 1. We'll be back tomorrow for more live updates from the Avid booth in Hall 7. A friend of mine's brother is an Avid guy. His name is Kurlick. Jeff is my friend. And his brother works for Avid. But Jeff and I use Final Cut Pro 10. And we're working on a documentary currently, and we're using Final Cut Pro 10. So, what else do we have? I don't see a whole lot of things that I'm that interested in at IBC so far. Although FCP Works, let me see what Noah has posted some really, really nice pictures from IBC. Beautiful pictures. I've seen them on Facebook, so I think that's going to be it for today. Just wanted to come on here and do a quick one. I am testing my stream. I presume that everything is crystal clear. So don't forget about the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. That's coming up. Of course, they've announced the keynote speaker. Let me pull that up. They've announced the keynote speaker, but I forget who it is. Speakers, here we go. Here we go. So this is the keynote speaker, Joshua Myers, head of post-production and co-founder of Emergent Order. He's based in Austin, Texas. That's fantastic. I think pretty sure that's the keynote speaker. But of course, just go to FCPXCreativeSummit.com, find out all about it. 2019 venue, register now. Juniper Hotel. The Juniper Hotel is fantastic. Everybody likes the Juniper Hotel. Last year, John Cleese was there. He wasn't doing anything with Final Cut Pro. He just happened to be in the hotel at the same time. So there we go. We are going to the Apple Park campus. Last year, we went to the Apple Park campus visitor center, which was right across the street from the actual Apple Park campus. This time, we're going inside the Apple Park campus itself. Fantastic. I'm really excited about that. A lot of people are. I'll stop by Tim Cook's office and give Final Cut Pro a big plug. Make sure he funds them properly. So for the first time in the history of the FCPX Creative Summit, attendees will have exclusive access to Apple Park. We are also going to hear from the Final Cut Pro team, and I'm not sure if that's going to be at Apple Park or One Infinite Loop. Don't know. And we are going to have a one-on-one session with the Final Cut Pro team back at the Juniper, probably on Saturday. I think it's on Saturday. There's lodging. So let me see if they don't have the schedule yet. They don't have the schedule yet, but it'll be there shortly. Just go to FCPXCreativeSummit.com. All right, I think that's it for today. I'm going to get off. We will be back, of course, as we are usually. Anytime there's breaking Final Cut Pro news, Final Cut Pro Radio will be on the air live to bring you the latest news. Don't forget to visit Final Cut Pro Radio and Apple Podcast. You can go there, or just FCPRadio.com, of course. All right, I guess there's nothing else to discuss. We've talked about the free BRAW plugin for Final Cut Pro. For Premiere and Avid. And if you want to follow along on Facebook, facebook.com/RichardTaylorTV. Now, I don't accept friends there too much. Friends I keep mostly to family and some local friends, a few video friends, but that's not my video channel. So until the next time, Richard Taylor for Final Cut Pro Radio TV Live, signing off. Talk to you later.